to visit the victims of the court martial, to share with them the same spirit, not in bad faith. The CDF should come and appear before us so that we consult him. Thank you.
And I trust that you were made the chair because you have capacity to guide this committee. And Mr. Chairman, I take exception of the character of some of our colleagues that when a question and guidance is sought from you, members jump in and even make rulings on your behalf even before you say anything. But having observed what is happening here, I want now to formally move that this committee resolves to request the Chief of Defense Forces.
Honorable Namboze, you rose up on a point of guidance.
I'm moving the motion and I'm being intimidated.
And,
I don't know why.
That guidance yet. Can I give my guidance? Yes, please. Give guidance, Chair. My guidance.
If Uganda is not a communist state like Cuba, North Korea, and others, why would the executive or the president be pushing civilians to be tried in military courts?
I would like to pick from where Honorable Nyeko ended, asking a question. The spirit I see in this presentation and from the responses is that what is being proposed in the UPDF Act is quite abnormal, quite unconventional for militaries universally. Would you help me to know whether, studying from the standard running of militaries universally, this law offends that universality? I beg to be guided.
When you look at this bill, and really I'm grateful that you have tried your best to summarize the decisions of the Supreme Court. Do you think this bill answers to these advisory orders? And where you think it falls short? Because I saw the proposals you've made, but sometimes they have not answered these. You have just gone to specific sections. Lastly, Chair, I think it's about appellant courts. When you look at the bill, this might be, yeah. When it provides appeals, the Court of Appeal is which clause? You go to page 61 of the bill. What is your interpretation of clause? It is seeking to amend section 225 of the jurisdiction of the appellant court. I agree with you that if you have appealed to the Court of Appeal, then we should go all the way, not limit it just to confirmation, I think. But what is your interpretation of section 225? No, clause 1, 2, beginning with subsection 1, as it is there. You see, the worst we can do is for us to enact a vague law when we are not so sure of what it is. Then we throw it to court, and it will be subject to all sorts of interpretations, and I have seen it, colleagues. We've enacted legislation here when we have not been so clear, and it has been subject to very ridiculous interpretations by even courts and lawyers. So when you look at clause subclause 2, I may read. Subsection 1 shall not affect the operation of any sentence imposed by court martial other than a sentence of death imposed by the general court martial. You see, if you say subsection 1 shall not affect the operation, it means that my understanding or appreciation of this subsection is that if a court martial has given any sentence other than death, then they will not, the rights under section 1 may, how can I put it? This subsection 2 only limits or provides rights for cases that have carried a death sentence. I don't know whether I'm getting it clear. That's what it means. Now, assuming they have given a life sentence, can you go to section 1? Or a sentence, because say subsection 1 shall not affect the operation of any sentence. So, you may go and challenge the legality or propriety of the hearing or finding, and yet court says, yes, there was impropriety. But they have already imposed a sentence. But that sentence is not affected. So this sort of ambiguity and vagueness, actually quite ridiculous. It puts you people who are court users prosecuting this case in very difficult positions.
Civilian courts cannot perhaps be the most suitable venue for trying those civilians. First of all, and this is in response to General Masiko, you should make no mistake that military courts are useless. No. Military courts or court martials play a very important role world over. I have personally researched. You find it everywhere, even in developed jurisdictions. America uses it. You won't find any country where it doesn't exist. Now, the only difference between General Masiko, don't get happy yet. Yes, the only difference is that where these courts operate elsewhere, their jurisdiction is well defined. It is not all over the place. And that is what the Supreme Court is telling us, that the circumstances should be exceptional. In our opinion, as we have recommended, we think that those exceptional circumstances should be restricted to offenses under the UPDF Act. Otherwise, if you provided that they can have powers to preside offenses in any other law that this parliament makes, first you will be creating a contradiction. It will be some sort of vote of no confidence from the civil system for which the military is subordinate, the civil courts. But two, you will be creating two parallel court systems which will create confusion in the administration of justice. Now, a member asked, what happens everywhere? You can borrow an example from Kenya here. Kenya has military courts, but I want you to read the Kenyan Act. It is very specific. They deal with cases such as cowardice in war, misuse of military equipment. It is cases relating to military operations, not robbery or other cases under other laws.
Abantu batunulira muntu ali mu office n'engeri gye bamwagalamu n'engeri gye bamutyamu, naye nze ntunulira office. Bwe muba mukola etteeka ly'amagye, mukola etteeka erigenda okukola bino. Ekisooka okutuukiriza ebyasalwawo Supreme Court kubikwatagana ku basibe abaali bavunaanibwa emisango mu court martial. Ekyokubiri okutereeza bupya structures za UPDF. Ekyokusatu okutereeza emirimu, clarifying on roles and responsibilities. Ekirala okugivinga operational effect ku mirimu gya UPDF. Kakati bw'ogamba nti oyagala kukola mirimu egyo egikwata mu structure, mujjukira mulimu ebyennyambala, mulimu structuring, zireetamu ekitongole ekipya ekya SFC, ebyo byonna. Naye n'ogamba nti oyagala obikole nga towulidde kuva ku office evunaanyizibwa kussa bintu ebyo mu nkola. Because lwaki? Nti bano bateeka omuntu mu office naye ndowooza tebamwesiga nti asobola okuyimirira mu lukiiko olutongole n'abaako byayogera ebyobuvunaanyizibwa. Naye bw'obanga ekyo si kyotya, tubadde n'abantu abakulira amagye. Buli mirundi we tubadde twogera ku nsonga enkulu mu magye nga bajja wano ne babaako bye boogera eri paalamenti. Kinneewuunyisa nti tulina kaakati omukulembeze w'amagye abeera eyo olw'okubulwa ebifo ebitongole mwayogerera, kyemuva muwulira ng'ali eyo abeera mu social media n'ayogerera eyo. Ekyo kikulaga nti alina ebimuli ku mutima byayagala okubuulira eggwanga. Naye ate kakati mbasaba tumuwe omukisa ajja abyogerere wano awatongole, olaba abantu n'okwogera obwogezi ku linnya lyo banga akoze ensobi ey'amaanyi, bonna obalabye nga balinganga benfumisa empiso, nga bonna buli omu afuba nnyo ayogere akaayane. Kinneewuunyisiza nnyo. Era kakati ntandise okukkiriza nti ndowooza Muhoozi oba oli awo bye yayogera bituufu nti wano tuli ba clowns. Otherwise bwe tubanga tuli babaka ba paalamenti abatuufu, muntu ki ku kiseera kino eyaligambye nti paalamenti tesaanidde kwogera na mwami Muhoozi? Ku kiseera kino n'ebigenda maaso mu ggwanga n'ebiriwo n'ebikwata ku tteeka lino, paalamenti ki ng'ekola omulimu gwayo mu butuufu nga bwe twalayira okukuuma ssemateeka? Mubaka wa paalamenti kika ki atali agadde kwogerako na mukulembeze w'amagye mu kaseera kano ke tulimu mu butongole? Naye n'olaba nga balwana. Lwaki? Ndowooza baba mumanyi, bayinza okuba bamanyi nti naayinza okulemwa okwogera eri paalamenti. Simanyi lwaki bamutiisa okwogera gye tuli. Otherwise banne bonna General Muhoozi omujjukira eyakavaako oli kati Minister wa Internal Affairs yajjanga wano, Katumba Wamala yajjanga wano, Ereru yajjanga wano, bonna babadde bajja. Ono aliko ki ekyenjawulo ate ng'akulaga nti ayagala nnyo okwogerako eri abantu, kyekimutwala ne mu social media. Ali wakati mu bikolwa ebigenda mu maaso mu bino byennyini bye tuliko, abiri makati era yagenda n'obbisa mu nkola. Tulinamu ebya discipline, mulimu ebyobulamu by'abajaasi, mulimu ebya pensioni y'abajaasi, mulimu structures z'amagye, mulimu okuleeta ekitongole ekitabadde mu magye SFC nakyo kiyingirewo, mulimu ennyambala y'amagye. N'ogamba nti ate agakulembera ye teweetaaga kwogera naye ng'okola etteeka.